the smaller medical colleges across the whole of India. The reason why training is so important because the mind sees what the brain knows. The eye sees what the mind knows. So if you are trained, a simple CT scan black and white image can translate into a very beautiful visualization where it has a lot of meaning and depth in it. And the reason why we are giving the training is to share the knowledge so that we can interpret the findings. And the workshop is basically a very, very basic primary introduction to virtual autopsy. And you will have a very good clarity on what virtual autopsy can achieve. And I'm very sure that after the basic the workshop, you will be very much interested to have a basic training. We are in talks with Mr. Rudy to start the basic training here in the Philippines, hopefully next year, so that you will have a ground knowledge of how you can approach a virtual autopsy. And if you want the advanced training, I would welcome you to UK. It's really very nice country. It's not so humid as India. Quite cold. And the reason why we do the workshop. So all this while they have been talking about virtual autopsy, but nobody understands. So we thought we need to educate the ground level doctors who are in practice of the postmortems. They have to be educated on the translation of the knowledge, which can give them a lot of confidence in performing virtual autopsy. And so the initial start is here as of today. And I hope you will definitely join the basic training and then the advanced training. And we hope to see one virtual autopsy census soon by the end of 2024. And it's always a passion. I have this passion of virtual autopsy. I have been working on this since 2009. I had my friends who worked with me. They worked with me for 2 years and then they left because they felt that there is no much scope in virtual autopsy. So I don't want to continue in this. I want to go with my normal, other standard job routine or the promotions in their particular job. But I stick to it, and then Ash joined me, and then we stick together. We had a team when we started virtual autopsy as a team. It was like a team of 12 people. Then slowly everybody got drifted away because they didn't feel the enough potential of the business. Because at the end of the day, you need to earn money to manage your bills. And it was not so easy for us to earn the money in the initial days, but now we are good enough. Not so good enough anyways, but I want to be very good enough. So we have been in this for 2009 till now. So for almost 15 years. We have believed in it, and I have the passion to transfer this knowledge to all the possible doctors across the world. And we'll start it in another half an hour. And I appreciate all of you for joining here for the first batch of the basic virtual autopsy workshop. And I appreciate the whole team of virtual autopsy Philippines, plus Dr. Maria, Dr. Paul, Agnes, and Mr. Rooney for joining the hands to make this event possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hemant. Before we have a closing remarks, do you have some questions, please, at the moment before we come up with the closing remarks and then the photo opportunity with our guests here? The first participants have the opportunity to have a photo taken with our guests. Questions, please. Okay, Maria. Anyone who has a question? While we're fixing with our microphone. Don't be afraid, don't be shy, sir. Yeah, you're raising your hand. Yeah. Can you acknowledge yourself and then bring up your question?
I'm Dr. Raul Alcantara from the National Bureau of
Dr.
Investigation.
Alcantara from
National Bureau of Investigation.
National Bureau of Investigation, which is NBI. Yeah. Would you like to address the questions?
Anybody can
Anybody?
answer.
Please.
since we're using an imaging a machine like a CT scan, do we have to train, let's say, do we have to be a radiologist to interpret the software?
Repeat?
Do we have to be trained in radiology for that?
Yes, you have to be trained in that. And the workshop is all about that. And the workshop is all about that.
Yes.
Thank you.
So more discussion along can be given, expounded later on during the workshop, this afternoon and tomorrow. All right. Anyone else? Don't be afraid. Yes, sir. All right.
I'd just like to ask a question on your, are you in partnership with other CT scan provider or how do you do that? Okay, so we are not in partnership with CT vendors, and that is because we are vendor neutral, which means that our technology will work with any CT scan. Yeah. I have quite a straightforward analogy of what a CT scanner is for us as a company, for our technology. It is nothing more than a photocopier of a dead body. Because it's the data that we retrieve from the CT scanner that we render through our software environment that gives us our output. That be fair, Michael? Yes.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, Roy, Mr. Roy.
I have a question regarding.
You come up here, better. Kasi you will be seen.
I'm Roy Bato, from the Association of Broadcasters in the Philippines. Concerning data, the data from the CT scan, I believe, will be sent through somewhere, right? The software is, correct me if I'm wrong, based somewhere, or is it locally based in the Philippines? So the data will be sent. For example, we have many regions in the country. Data from Mindanao will be sent through the head HQ, or it will be interpreted in the.
Okay, so a lot of it depends on how your infrastructure is established and created. So in the UK, we'll give you an example, we have 5 or 6 centres, but we have a central government-protected data centre where all the data is sent to. When the radiologists are doing the interpretation, or the pathologists, they are never accessing the data locally. So they will VPN in, so the data is not stored on anybody's machine, it's VPN'd in, the analysis is done, the report is written, the probable cause of death is given. However, that is not to say that it's the same in every country. In the Philippines, the first thing that we have to do is explore the law and what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. The ideal situation would be to have local storage, local protection, encryption in each sector. Because remember, this is digital data, so you can transfer it, but it's best to have it locally if you're not creating a network. If you are connecting a number of facilities together, then you may consider having a centralized data storage center. But if it's done in specific regions and you want to hold on to the data locally, then that is possible.
How secure are the data and also watermark?
We normally don't recommend that data to be stored in the cloud. There's a lot of options of PACs where they have a cloud storage. But we don't recommend that because it's not so safe as your local storage of the PACs, because it's a medical run and it's not non-location of disease, it's a medical legal. So we normally don't advise our clients to have a storage in the cloud. We always insist to have a local storage of the CT data into the local PACs. And it's 100% secure. It's a better than the banking system.
Can I add something?
I've been working with government hospitals on IT matters because my other business is into IT. The problem is most hospitals does not have internet. That's number one. Our government hospitals are not interconnected. They don't talk.
The hospital number one, government hospital number one, and hospital government number two are using a different software. So they don't communicate. Infrastructure is a problem. We don't have a central data as of now yet in the Philippines. Yes, we have plans. Since the past president, we have plans, but we have no central data yet. All our data right now is still at the Department of Health. Even the COVID data, it's still there. So we don't have a centralized repository yet so far. So I believe this is a good thing, but we have to also, this is IT. Our problem is IT with the hospitals are not really that.
Okay. Just to give you an idea, and we're taking the best of best practice and the model from what we've created in the UK. We have a population of nearly 62 million. We have 600,000 deaths in the UK per year, 250,000 are classified as medical legal, and 110,000 will go under the knife. So we have the capacity, we have the volume. The first thing to establish here in the Philippines is what is the number of cases, number one. Correct? The second thing is that because you don't have an infrastructure that's already established, it gives you the opportunity to create that standard. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. And every step is a slow one. So if you were here for my opening remarks, you will say it's been a tough journey. It's been a massive learning curve. But nothing is plain or same for everybody. All of it is a learning curve. All of it is evolution. All of it is innovation. So what works here, and it may be a localized storage, that is fine. But now, because evolution is about progress and keep moving. Because anything that doesn't grow will be eliminated from the process by nature itself. So the best thing that the Philippines can do is start and take the first step. Take the first step, you can build on it.
One more last one. Has this been test piloted in third world countries?
South Africa.
Dr. says, your analysis, for example, in forensics, your report, it goes to the, you work hand in hand with the international office. So you're independent. And the storage of your data are by yourself. Sole proprietor. What about you, sir, in the forensics? It's all, your data is your data, right? So there's no timeline.
Yeah, it depends on, say for India, every state has their own data. They don't share it through other states. And every state has their own data. They don't share it to other states. So it depends on how is your law and how is your system. And we do it accordingly to the state.
Any lawyer here can enlighten us with regards to, all the, yes, sir. Yeah.
Virtual hospital, so basically the law does not allow data outside the country. It has to be kept in the country and preferably in the hospital. Because of the ground atmosphere, it's still there, but it has to be. They call it data privacy.
Okay, so we're familiar with a lot of the data privacy laws, but let's just simplify this whole thing. What are we talking about? Our output is simple. It is a probable cause of death report. That's it. So what tends to happen is people start over-engineering and thinking this process through. Like I said, start with one step at the beginning and then build on the rest of it. So this issue with data is not a problem. For example, in Kazakhstan, well, our project is 3 units in Kazakhstan. They are localized units that will catch at the local mortuary. What is the purpose of sharing that data? No. Because the radiologist or the pathologist will come to that center, they will do an external examination of the body, they will do the virtual autopsy process, and they will produce their probable death certificate. Finished. Nobody needs to share.
Well, I'm not in the position to make the proposal in itself, but later maybe the venture collaboration from other agencies into the department or the government, and so with in the government, presumably, we can kind of how procurement of data or even sealing of the data can be through the use of the virtual office. Yes, sir.
Another question for the virtual autopsy group. Are you already into MRI or you just start, or you're on the CT scan only?
I'll answer those questions in my next lecture. I'll have a whole lecture on that.
Alright. Okay, so that's kept on hold. Any more? Do we have? Okay, it's we're so early, so don't worry. We still have free flowing coffee in there. You have one last question, please. If you have. No? All eyes are like this. Okay. Please.
Question for the participants. What was the reason you joined this workshop? I just want one strong reason why you joined this workshop. There are many reasons. Some wanted to come to Manila for a holiday, so
Let's get volunteer. We have here Dr. Cordero. I kind of see your name. Yes, sir.
Hi, good morning, sir. But aside from the information given, can I sit down, sir? Okay. Aside from the information given by our senior officers regarding the new technology, we are also curious regarding this virtual autopsy. We are wondering how will it apply to our country, considering we have certain laws. I mean, pathologists, which I'm also a pathologist, we have our mentors will always tell us that when you conduct an autopsy, sort of use your senses. You should see the color, you should see the texture, because they did not tell us the taste, obviously. We won't do that. But again, we are very curious, sir, regarding the virtual autopsy. That's why we are here, sir.
So there it is. All right.
Hello? Okay. Kasi hindi namin ni Doctor. Thank you for that, Dr. Cordero.
Now, as we are about to close the inaugural ceremony, may I call on, she's the forensics pathologist, or one of the forensics pathologists here in the Philippines, and she's also the professor of the UP College of Medicine. May I call on Dr. Maria Cecilia Anthony.
Good morning. General Chimayo, I'm not the president of the Philippine Society of Pathologists. I'm just the vice president. And there's a reason I don't like being the president, because I don't like making speeches. Unfortunately, I've been asked to cover for the real closing remark. Anyway, since I don't really know what to tell you, I'm just going to tell you how I came to be here. So as Ma'am Agnes mentioned earlier, there was a talk show last year, last December, was it this December?
December last year.
Okay, so it was December, it was on Facebook, and they had actually invited somebody from Cebu na pato to cast it on to somebody, and eventually it reached the Philippine Society of Pathologists, because the Cebu pathologist said, we don't do really autopsy, so can you take care of this? So it went to the president of the Philippine Society of Pathologists, who also didn't like doing the autopsy, so he passed it on to me. I tried passing it on to Dr. Fortuno, but she refused also. And the reason why I tried to look for somebody to do the talk show was that I was adamant against the virtual autopsy, because my impression was that this was meant to take over the usual autopsy. It's not that I'm going to lose a job. I don't really have a job in forensic pathology. That's basically my sideline. But I am probably one of the people in the society who still insists that an autopsy is necessary for a pathology resident in training. That I don't think I've ever heard of a pathologist who does not know how to do an autopsy. I think it's something that they should know how to do. And so I was kind of dead set against the virtual autopsy. And I basically said that during the talk show. By the end of the talk show, Dr. Heman and Ash basically said something to the effect, now we're having a workshop in January, why don't you come over and we'll change your mind? And I went to India for that workshop. And they did change my mind. Actually, it was a 5-day workshop, very interesting. I have new friends. FYI, to the Filipinos, Viber is not the only media. In India, it's WhatsApp. So I still have my WhatsApp. My new friends from India continue to ask me who I am, what's going on, and I've been invited to one of the weddings. But apparently, the plane fare to India is not that cheap. I didn't know it was going to cost something like almost the same as the US or even to the UK. Yeah, because you're not going to New Delhi, you're actually going to the other end of India, so it's expensive. It was a 14-hour layover for me at the PKK. Anyway, opening ceremonies, what changed my mind was simply this. Ash said something to the effect that we're here to supplement the autopsy. And pathologists, even forensic pathologists, need a lot of assistance from other specialties when we're making diagnosis. Not only crime scene investigation, not only toxicology, but also forensic radiology. FYI, I don't know if it's been mentioned, but Dr. Himant is not just a forensic pathologist, he's also a forensic radiologist. And I was doing something that I do not have the energy to take another specialty. And yes, that was a fear, Doctor, about radiology. When I graduated medicine, they were teaching CT scans in radiology. I'm that old, okay? So there was a fear when I went to India as to whether I can cope. Siyempre, there's an additional pressure on, she's the only Filipino, she's a forensic pathologist, so she should be able to pass this quiz. The quiz they're taking tomorrow. I passed it, yes. But it was, I was scared. Because I knew there was pressure. There was pressure. But I went there with an open mind and they did change my mind. I learned a lot. I did know something about interpreting CT scans of the brain, but I didn't know anything about the thoracic region or the abdominal region. But the lectures did help me, and I was able to make a few diagnoses. So no fear about not being a radiologist. It will all come back to you somehow. I mean, the fact that you know anatomy should be okay. You know where everything is. But still there's this, you're looking at shadows. Forensic pathologists like, the whole organ right there, to feel, to touch. So I guess that's the only thing we could wish for the participants in this workshop, also for the stakeholders, that you have an open mind. At least you can go away from this workshop knowing what virtual autopsy is or not, its advantages and disadvantages. If you're asking how we're going to do this in the Philippines, PNP already has a centralized, you can't move around the CT scan, so it has to be in one place. PNP has a centralized mode. So they're actually in the best position to start this program. The NBI, the last earthquake a few years ago destroyed their building. So the NBI building in Taft Avenue is going to be rebuilt, hopefully. And you can think of that as a blessing because they can actually design their centralized network if they're open to it. And we're kind of hoping that they would be open to this. So thank you and good luck on your workshop.
Okay, before anything else, thank you so much, Dr. Maria Cecilia Lim. We would like also to recognize our partners and sponsors who made this event or workshop possible. And may we give a round of applause to first the Philippine Investigation and Forensic Science Academy, please. We have the National Bureau Investigation. We have the Philippine National Police under the Forensics Group led by the Philippine Brigadier General Chanayo. We also have the Academy of Forensics Medical Science. This is based in the UK, right? London, yes. Can you give them a round of applause? And we have the Philippine Society of Pathologists Incorporated. Of course, the presence is up there. And our media partners, of course, the Filipinos World, the Manila Times, IBS Media Group of Sir Roberto and the Kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas of Calabarzon. Let's give them a round of applause. And we also have to acknowledge our sponsors. I'm going to be flashing a bit of that one moment. So, hindi naman tayo, one moment. How would I do this? Meron ba? Wala ba? Okay. Okay, we're blessed is working in the basic education department of the University of San Carlos. Let's give them a round of applause. Beauty and Brains. So, sino ba ito sa Beauty and Brains? Ayan. So, ito yung ad nila. If you happen to go to Cebu, you can please drop by at Beauty and Brains. The kit that you have there, that's from Beauty and Brains. So thank you so much, Beauty and Brains, and we will be posting this in our Facebook too. Medyo mahaba. Ayan. Gusto niyo magpaganda? Ayan. Sa Cebu lang to, but you can drop by Beauty and Brains. And then we have Paseo Ricardo, also from Cebu City. Marami tayo. So sa Beauty and Brains, Dr. Shell Batman and then Dr. Charu Chai Anton Sato. We also have from Paseo Ricardo, Mrs. Dia Labrada and Elzalda Labrada. And we will also mention his names, Meryl Changhoy. And the son, Attorney Giovanni Luna. Thank you so much. Okay, that ends for our inaugural ceremony this morning, and we would like to request our guests to have a photo opportunity with the virtual autopsy solutions. First, do we call on Dr. Ash, Mr. Ash Gobin, and Dr. Evan. So I'll move this back. And then Sir Johnny Chitrani, Mr. Michael, should I just call you out, Mr. Michael? Because it's very hard to pronounce your name. Who else? Police Brigadier General Chanayo, sir, and then, I forgot again your name, sir. Police Colonel Joseph Calvaro. Please join us here. Pero, pasensya na ang laki ng stage natin. Okay, can you please join for the photo over here? Sir Roy, would you be able, and Queenie, can you please take the photos?
actually telling us where to look. I'm looking there.
Okay, you don't have just money. Okay, so focus on the center, please. Alright, up here, one, two, three. One more. Okay, how many more? We have three more. Okay, one more. Roy, you wanna come with that?
It's okay.
One, three. Okay, perfect. Okay. Sino pa gusto makipag-picture before the leave?
Walang gusto makipag-photo. Okay, what about the organizers, please? May we call on Bless, Ruthie, and then Roy, you want to join? Sir? Together.
Yeah, okay na. Okay yan. Alan. Sige.
One.
Okay. Here, numbers, it's, some of them. Thank you so much.
Alright, we have tea break or coffee break. Okay, we have snacks that will be distributed to you. And for our guests,